Honda isn't going to sit back and let the competition eat their lunch. No, they have this car, the Honda Civic, the best-selling car in Canada for 15 years in a row. They're not going to relinquish that crown to anybody.
It was just last year, 2012, that Honda introduced an updated Civic. We had a chance to drive that vehicle at the launch in Washington, D.C. We also did a his and her review on the show last season. You can go to our website, drivingtelevision.com, to watch both of those reviews. We liked the 2012 Civic. It was a great everyday car, but there were some problems. The cabin was a bit noisy, the interior was finished on the cheap, and overall the updates were a bit lackluster. A good car, but basic.
Now, Honda is in a fighting mood. After that 2012 Civic came out, they brought out the all-new CR-V, which is selling very well. Then they introduced this year the brand new Accord, which won the Canadian Car of the Year. So for 2013, the designers and the engineers, they went back to the drawing board to update the 2013 Civic.
We want to keep that #1 status. You can't be just good, you've got to be the best. And to react to that, sort of proactively react to that, we went ahead and made the design change at this level so that we can keep that #1 spot.
So here's an update for some of the changes on the 2013 Civic. It's smoother, more refined, and better looking. The outside has been given a classier and sportier stance. The front bumper is lower with a large front opening and tasty chrome accents. A round back might just be the nicest update. The rear lights have a classier look with integration into the trunk. The back now has a more sophisticated stance, and when fitted with the new wheels, the Civic can look upscale or sporty.
Now, the Civic on the outside was never a bad-looking vehicle. Most of the criticism about the 2012 model was focused on the inside. And for 2013, there's been a shift to more refined materials. Instead of the hard plastic found on the 2012 models, Honda has introduced softer materials on the front of the dash, doors, and armrest. However, the top of the dash still is covered in hard plastic. Now, my biggest criticism about this car is the optional navigation unit. It looks like an afterthought. It looks like it was installed at the dealer. So that's one area they could come up with a better looking head unit. You look at the Kia Forte, for example, that's just about to come out. Fabulous looking graphics and a bigger screen. That's one area. But what has made the Civic such a great seller in Canada is the functionality of the cabin. The wraparound cockpit design remains intact, the seating position is excellent for the driver, and the back seat is especially functional. It's got a flat floor, there's no hump in the middle, easy for kids to get in and out of, so all of that remains intact. Now, exterior and interior changes, that's what's going to get people into the dealership, but there has to be some meat behind the changes. The drive is very important. Now, my biggest complaint of Honda Civics over the years has been the amount of engine, wind, and road noise that they allowed into the cabin, and that's been addressed.
The suspension's been beefed up to give it a more flat ride, and sharp ride. The springs have been beefed up, the stabilizer's been beefed up. The steering ratio has been quickened, so that now the Civic gives it a more Civicness to it. The responsiveness and especially the noise and vibration is being changed extensively.
All of the sound updates are welcome, and so too is the improvement to the steering feel. The ratio has been changed and tuned. Honda uses electric power steering, and they implement it better than just about anyone at this price. Some other car companies could learn a few things from Honda. The engine and transmission is being carried over. It's still a 1.8-liter four-cylinder with 140 horsepower and is matched to either a 5-speed manual or 5-speed automatic transmission. Now, I would argue the average person that buys this car, drives it to work, drives it home, picks up the kids, takes them to hockey, all that stuff. The car will do everything they want. It's reliable, it's a proven platform, and it's also efficient. But you have to look at this car in terms of the competition. The Kia Forte, for example, is just about to come out with a direct injection 2-liter engine, more power, more torque, 6-speed automatic, 6-speed manual. So Honda can only glide on this proven drivetrain for so long.
The changes to the suspension really help to improve the drivability, vibration, and noise. The spring rates have been changed along with a stiffer front sway bar and a host of new bushings. This improves road handling, but also limits the amount of vibration and noise that enters the cabin through the chassis. In addition, acoustic glass in the windshield helps a lot. It's still a rewarding car to drive due to an independent rear suspension, where many competitors cheap out and put in a simple torsion beam design. The investment in the suspension can be felt. You know, the Honda Civic has always been known for its good driving characteristics. They've just done a really good job of keeping the Civic at the top of its class.
So Lacey, the Civic is the top-selling car in Canada. Do these updates, do they keep it in the top position, do you think?
Well, Zach, one of the things that I'm really happy about with the new 2013 Civic is that they've added more value to the lower trim levels, like the heated seats and the rear view camera. I really like the changes to the exterior styling, and the interior is a lot quieter than the outgoing version. And it's got a proven drivetrain. And you know, on the downside, there really isn't a lot, but Honda can only rely on their reputation for so long because the competition is literally throwing everything but the kitchen sink at them. What do you think, Zach?
Well, I like this car first and foremost because it's a Honda Civic. It's got a proven track record. It's got a reliable engine, it handles very well, a fabulous seating position, and a known entity in the resale market. All of those things are fabulous, but on the downside, the dash has been updated, but I really dislike the radio, the navigation unit. It looks cheap, it doesn't even sound good. And the other thing, Lacey, it's only got 5 gears. In this era of direct injection and more gears, they really need to update that, and in a hurry. Now, we talked about the Kia and the Hyundai just a moment ago. You know what, Lacey, you look at those cars, the Forte and even the Elantra, heated rear seats.
Heated steering wheel.
Heated steering wheel, folding side mirrors. So I think you're right. We're gonna have to come back here in a year, hopefully when it's not raining, and see if this car is still top of the pile.
Looking for a small car? We have all the reviews on our website at drivingtelevision.com.